friends, it is a new week. Oh, it is like the sun in terms of heat going on here in Maryland right now. But I'm feeling better than I did last week. So it's good. It's good. Also, that's because I've already read a book, and that book was A Court of Mist and Fury. Girlfriend needed a dopamine hit, and man, did it deliver. I can rely on my girl, Sarah J. Maas, to give me that joy spark that I needed, and I desperately needed it after my last several reads, because I can't remember if at the end of the last vlog I mentioned the fact that I really didn't like the new romantasy that I read. It was just problematic for me, problematic to say the least. So went back to what I would like to call an old faithful, because at this point I've read it like 4 or 5 times this year, because it's just, perfection. I love it. I know a lot of people don't love Sarah J. Maas, and that's fine, but Girlfriend hits all the right notes for me when I need her to, so it's perfect. Today, to quote Alan, today friends, I just left the gym, got my double dose of dopamine. I am going to pick up dinner. It's Friday, and I'm going to be doing a love bomb tonight with Tudor Ramble, which is going to be great. They're both really fun. It's going to be our first time chatting, so I'm excited about that. And all in all, this week is shaping up to be better than last week. I am now on my reread of A Court of Wings and Ruin, which is my 3rd reread of this one this year. Don't even care. July might even be the month of rereads, save for Spear Cuts Through Water, just leaning into all of the things that I know for certain will bring me joy. So we're gonna be playing this week by ear. There's a couple of books that I've been thinking about that are new books that I might fit in there, see how I feel about it. But all in all, off to a much better start. I have been working on my query letter and my pitch for the last 2 days. My brain is soup, so there's that, but I feel like it is now good, and that's great, because before it was basically just a hot mess, words on a page, hoping that it all collectively made sense. But now it is those things. Feel good about it. Just gotta be patient with the process, because everything with this process is glacial. It's glacial, that's what I've learned. And I am learning things as I go, not only about writing, but about myself as a person, and how I really struggle with things not going at the pace that I want them to. So it's gonna be a good week. I'm just gonna lean into that, hoping, praying to all the gods that'll listen, that this sinus infection is hopefully done, because I cannot deal with it anymore. But so far the last few days have been much better. Finished my 2nd round of antibiotics. All in all, we're off to a good start for the week. Let's see how it goes. Hello. So it has been a day, maybe it had to have been yesterday, because I was listening to the novella of ACOTAR, the ACOTAR novella, which I finished yesterday because it's a really quick, easy read, and I listened to it, the whole thing. This is, okay, to go back, the graphic audio for that book made it a much more enjoyable experience than the first time I went through it, which was the regular audio. And I mean, the whole thing with that book is that it is a bridge book between the original ACOTAR trilogy and then A Court of Silver Flame, which I'm currently listening to, and I freaking love this book. I love this book so much. This is just what I needed. I needed some easy, consumable joy, and that is what those books give me. Also, the tension in those books, it's phenomenal. I love it. So, had a good day today so far. I had childcare today, which is always nice. I managed to get to the gym this morning. I had a swim. I have been getting back into my routine a little bit since this whole sinus thing is thankfully clearing up. And listened to my book, which is great. I had therapy. Big advocate of therapy. It's good for everybody. Everyone should have therapy. Just one of those things that you feel good after a session, and that's always really great for keeping the mental health going, keeping it good. Then I submitted query letter to a couple of agents, so I have to wait on that now. It seems like the 2 people I submitted to seem to be abnormally quick responders. One woman says no to 99% of people. So I'm curious to see how quickly that rejection will come in, just how quick. But it's all about testing the waters and seeing what works, what doesn't work. And it's good. I'm excited. Tonight I am going to be on Jake Bishop's channel. We're going to be talking about Clash of Kings, and specifically an episode of Game of Thrones. The episode is Watchers on the Wall, which is the Battle at the Wall episode in season 4, episode 9. Specifically, it is, the entire episode is at the wall. I think it's the Battle of Winterfell, I think, only takes place at Winterfell. Yeah, because they've been amping up to it in the previous episode too. So yeah, those I think are the only 2 episodes that take place solely in one location. One location being, not just one room type thing, but one place, city, town, whatever. It was an interesting experience rewatching it just because I haven't watched it in so long, and it's interesting to me because I loved that show so much when it came out. I was emotionally invested in Game of Thrones in a way that some people are, not many. And I look back on it now, and all of the things that I really disliked about the ending, I can see in earlier parts of the show that I had forgiven. So it's going to be interesting to talk about it because Jake loves that episode, as does Kyle. And I mean, it wasn't bad. It's just not my favorite in terms of the fight scene episodes because that's Battle of the Bastards. It's always going to be Battle of the Bastards. But Josh is supposed to join us for that chat too. It's going to be fun. I loved Clash of Kings when I read it. I think I talked about this in my last clip that I did. It's just been a hot minute since I've read it, so I've been doing a little bit of a refresh today as to the main overall stuff that happens because I remember some key things, specifically the wildlings and the House of the Undying, which is freaking incredible. That scene in the book is just, it's a 10 out of 10 scene. Honestly, there's so many great scenes in that book, starting with the prologue. The prologue's freaking incredible. It's like the second best prologue I've ever read in my life. I loved it so much. First prologue, oddly enough, being Eye of the World for Wheel of Time, which is funny because I don't like that series. But the prologue is incredible. So it's going to be good. Today's been a good day. Excited for our chat. I'm also exhausted, so there's that. Got no makeup on here, just thriving. Haven't been wearing much makeup at all lately. I don't really put makeup on in these vlogs, which it's just too much effort. And it's summer, so I would just be like a pool of makeup, and I don't want that. So here we are. I'm rambling. It's very, very rambly, and that's okay. So I am looking to finish A Court of Silver Flame in the next day or so. Then I don't know what I'm gonna read. I don't know, and I'm gonna pick something. I always do. Always find something. Still don't know if it's gonna be a reread or a new read. Might do both. Who knows? I am wanting to start Game of Thrones. I'm just preparing, like I said, emotionally, because it's gonna be a lot. It's a heavy series to read, but it's gonna be good. I'm happy that I have had a few books to kind of separate myself from the last few books that I read, because I needed some breathing space. So it's all good. I am hoping in the next little bit to get up to Montreal to go home, because I haven't been home. I live in America now, so there's that. And if you don't know where Montreal is, Montreal's in Canada. And I haven't been home since last October, and when I did go, I got COVID. So I was house ridden the entire time that we were there, And I'm desperate to get to some of my favorite restaurants, cafes, see, what's happening here? Some of my best friends up there, hang out with my parents. It's been a hot minute. So yeah, I'm hoping that'll be coming up soon. I'll probably read less during that time, but it's good. There's some good, exciting things coming up. I'm gonna make dinner here in a couple minutes. I'm gonna make a Cajun spiced cod that I'm gonna broil. Probably gonna make some grits and some asparagus. It's good stuff. Good morning, friends. So I finished Akamef, I believe, already when I started this vlog. And I then have since read Aka War because I'm just sticking in my happiness right now. Is that bird stuck? I might have to help this bird. They put themselves in the worst spot in this like very thorny bush. But they seem okay for now. So finished Aka War and have now moved on to the novella because I'm just wanting to live in my continued state of joy. I watched House of the Dragon last night, which is episode 4 of House of the Dragon, and I have a lot of strong feelings in addition to the fact that I was very upset, which I knew I was going to be just based on having read Fire and Blood and knowing what was going to happen last night. Was a bit different than what had been described in the book. But of course, what's in the book is only 50 pages, so it was being fleshed out. Josh came in at one point and found me crying. So there was that. I just don't do well with animal death. Be it CGI animal or whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't do well with it. So I am continuing on trying to parent here, trying to record. It is a very fine balance. It's been, in regards to that show, I don't love it. Like, I really don't love it. I have a lot of feelings and opinions as to what they're doing with specific characters. I really didn't like the story arc for Rhaenys. I just didn't. I didn't feel like it was fleshed out enough. And I don't love how they've changed that since season 1. So there's that. That's my main gripe right now, I suppose, with the show. All in all, though, we had a good weekend, so that was nice. I have started working on my second book, so that's good. I have 9 chapters so far. I am on page 42. Not that that means much, but I have about 14,000 words written for book 2. So that's exciting. As soon as I get my manuscript back for book 1, I am going to be working on that again, pretty much full time. I worked on query letters for the last several days. Been trying to figure out this tool called Publishers Marketplace where you can see deals that are being made in all across publishing, but specifically you can look for your genre and see which agencies are making these deals for your genre and which publishers they're selling the books to, which is a great tool. I don't fully understand how to use it yet, so that's taking me a little while. I am not a techie person. I do fine, but I am a tutorial needing person. I am a visual learner, and I would really love for there to be tutorials on all of this stuff. But I do feel like I got my pitch and query letter to a really good spot. So I'm excited about that. And I've been getting a really great feedback from some beta readers, so that's been great. Been able to implement a few changes that, this is why you have other people read your work, because sometimes you're too close to it and you don't pick up things that they do, and it just makes your book better. So that's been really exciting. Also, like, this whole process is just, it's a really interesting process for your ego. Writing, creating, being an artist, a creator of any kind, putting a product out into the world, like even making videos, really. It is a test of ego because not everyone is going to resonate with you, with your work. And you have to be okay with that in order to really survive in this type of environment. So it's a really interesting experiment because I haven't been in that type of environment for several years. My grad school experience was very, very Hunger Games like based on my supervisor, so I definitely had to grow a thick skin at that point. What's that, baby? It's a stick. Yeah, good for you. And just haven't had to deal with anything like that in a long time. So I'm kind of getting back mentally into the toughen up mentality. So it's been interesting. But all in all, feeling good about stuff. I am still very much trying to figure out like which agencies would be best. If I can figure out this tool, then that would be really helpful. All in all, though, excited. I am hopeful. This process is glacial. It's very slow unless you automatically plan to self-publish, in which case it can be quite quick. But even still, going through editing and having an official edit, it all takes time. So yeah, tomorrow night, I'm going to be on Jake Bishop's channel because we're going to be talking about Clash of Kings. I haven't read A Song of Ice and Fire since I was 20, so it's been 14 years. It's been a hot minute. And when I read it, Clash of Kings was my favorite. So I am thinking that I'm probably going to be restarting A Song of Ice and Fire here pretty soon. I'm just trying to mentally prepare for a big series because it's not light reading, even though it's really, really well written, obviously. He's a phenomenal writer, and I love his prose, I love his style, but the content is not light, it's heavy. So trying to adjust my mindset for that, get back into the swing of things with that, see if I'm ready. I really wish the audiobook narrator was different, and I know that whole story, so no one needs to let me know in the comments, like I know it, but I just wish that the audiobook was more readily available, because I'm still primarily doing audiobooks. Like, my jaw is marginally better, but it's still screwing with my vision, and reading is quite arduous for me right now, so I would really love a good audiobook for that series, but we can't get everything that we want, so there's that. I am still thinking probably next week that I'll start Spear Cuts Through Water. I might start this week, though. I don't know. I might just take it slow. I think I'll probably immersion read that one. I'll have the ebook and the audio, so there's that. But yeah, it's going to be a good week, I think. Some good books. Hopefully no drama. Easygoing, everything else just being kind of chill. My family has had a lot of loss this year, like a lot of loss. In the past few months, it's just been a lot. Like our cat died in December, which I mentioned several videos ago, several vlogs ago. And then my grandfather passed away in January. We had losses of our own this year. And then we had my dad's godfather passed away recently, a few weeks ago. And now my great uncle's in the hospital. So it's just been like this crazy year of loss. And you get to a point in life where, like, you know, these things are coming based on age groups of people. Some things are unexpected, but there is no better way for me to grieve than having good stories to kind of fall into. And it makes me so appreciative of things like audiobooks, because I have found with my brain, my ADD brain, that it is one of the only times that my brain is quiet. It's that I can focus solely on this thing. And it took me 34 years to realize that that's what I needed sometimes. But man, is it a gift. So hope that there is just some easygoing for the next little bit. Some easygoing stuff. And it's not to like have people like feeling bad for me or anything like that. This is, you know, it's unfortunately it's a part of life, but it's just to reinforce the fact of how grateful I am for stories, because they can transport us in times that we desperately need them, you know. My kid is moving everything from her water table into her pool, and this is now going to be the activity probably for the next 2 hours. But all in all, like I said, hoping for a good week. I know that kind of took a little bit of a turn tangentially, but it's good. Things are good, and I'm excited to see where the rest of the week takes us. I finished my book, so I read 4 ACOTAR books this week. So good. It's what I needed. I needed the uplifting, good vibes, feels for my soul. I might reread Emily Henry now. I don't know. It's great though. It's just, you need some good, chill, easy vibes at times. And that's what I needed this week. Like, I just needed it. Also, I put up the poll for our August read for our book club on my Patreon today. So far, Grace of Kings is winning. So I'm curious to see if that's what we end up reading for August. But probably going to start Spear in the next couple days so I can take my time with it and not feel rushed. Starting to get little drops of rain here. It's so nice. I love it. If summer were 10 degrees cooler where I live, it would just be perfection. But these days of living at 96 before the humidity index, it's tiresome. With humidity, it's been like close to 110 for my American people. It's like 40 for the rest of the world. So it's been hot. It's been really, really hot. But over the last few days, I've been enjoying my book so much. I love so many of the themes that take place in that last ACOTAR book. Just trauma and coping with trauma, and it's so good. It's so good. Can't wait for that next book. Excited. Ooh, it's getting stormy. Oh, there's the bunny again. Probably gonna have to go inside here in a minute, but maybe I'll see if I can grab the bunny here. Fireflies are also starting to come out. I'm wondering if they'll be caught on film here. There's one. There's another. My woods in the summer, we have so many fireflies that go through there that it looks like fireworks. It's incredible. I love it. This is looking like it's blue on here and it's changing, but the sky is purple. And it's not sunny right now. I don't know why it's looking like this, but it's like mostly a pink hue over everything. Camera's weird. Hey, bunny. Hey, bunny. Go back to your warren. Okay, bunny moved. But it's just, it got this glow outside and I love it. Oh. It doesn't come across as orange on here as it actually is, but it's so orange. Ooh, a rainbow. It's nice. It's unexpected. I'll take it. Let's see if we can zoom in on a little bit of color here. I love the rain. And I got into the car and it's so humid that my glasses are foggy. Like, I don't know if you can see this, but right now it's way too warm in America. It's way too warm. Good morning, friends. It's a new day. Mama? Hi. Can I do this? Okay. It's a new day. I haven't updated for a couple of days. Just had kind of a rut for a day or so where it was stress and anxiety that was ruling everything. Got very overwhelmed with query writing. I thought I was doing better. Seems like I misunderstood a prompt, so I have to start over again, which is the name of this game. Man, it's frustrating and stressful and anxiety riddling, and it's good. It's real good. So I finished all of my ACOTAR stuff, which I talked about, and then I started Funny Story again by Emily Henry because I was like, I still need joy. I need joy, and Emily Henry always delivers joy for me. And I love this book. This is gonna be my 3rd time listening to this book. It's just fun, but deals with some great themes. I love the way that Emily Henry writes. I really do. I just feel like she's such an engaged author. You know your characters so well, why they do things, their backstory. what influences them. Like, she's just a really phenomenal character writer as well as an atmospheric writer. I always feel very immersed in her world, and it doesn't take long, which is something that I really, really love. Also, all of her stuff now is being adapted, I think. I'm pretty sure it's all 5 of these books. And she is specifically working on the screenplay herself for this movie. So I'm excited to see how all of these are going to turn out, because I have very clear depictions in my brain often of actors that I feel associate with these roles. But they're usually too old because I picture them when they were younger type thing. So I'll be curious to see who ends up getting cast in these. But I am thinking I'm probably going to start Spear in the next day or so. I'll likely finish. I don't know why this stopped recording me again. So hopefully I'm not repeating myself, but we'll see. It stopped recording me because I accidentally hit my earbud and it started playing my book again. But alas, here we are. So side note, tangentially, I booked my trip to Montreal and I'm very excited because I haven't been home in a while. And it's difficult when you move away from a place that you genuinely love to somewhere that's very foreign to you, quite literally. I moved to a different country. I grew up in a city and now I live in a very rural area, which I think is fairly apparent from some of my vlogs, like based on my yard and stuff. But I really do love a city. Not to say that I don't love where we live now. I do. It's beautiful. But I miss being in a city. I thrive in a city. Like, I always kind of poke at Josh. I'm like, what if we moved to a city? But the likelihood of that happening is quite small. But I'm excited to get home. I'm excited to hopefully have a very restorative trip. Good for the soul, good for just general well-being. I'm excited to go to some of my favorite bookstores, restaurants, cafes. Also, just to have some R&R. Should be good. So I'm excited for that coming up. But yeah, I mean, it's just, there's some good things happening. Last few days felt like just ebbs and flows of anxiety, which I feel is normal, depending on what's going on in your life and your world, and just figuring out how to deal with that and cope with it in the best way that you can. So hopefully the rest of the week is smooth sailing. Okay, so it's been a few days. We've had a lot of stuff going on in my household and family. A lot of it hasn't been good. We've had 2 more deaths in the family, and it's just been a lot in the last couple weeks. I am at the vet now with Salem, if we can see Salem. Hey, Salem. He has been having this ongoing ear issue for like the last year now. So I'm hoping to kind of get that resolved today. I was definitely in a reading slump. I ended up rereading all of ACOTAR except book 1. I then reread 3 Emily Henry books because I wanted something that I knew I was going to enjoy that was... My phone cut me off because I accidentally hit my headphone here. But I reread 3 Emily Henry books because I wanted something that I knew I was going to love and enjoy. And I did. I reread Beach Read, Funny Story, and People We Meet on Vacation. And I had a really good time with all of them. And then I started like 5 books and nothing was working for me. Nothing. I started a few different romanticides. I started A Court This Cruel and Lovely. I started The Mask of Mirrors. I started this other one that I can't even remember the name. I read a couple other things, but I can't think of what they were, because clearly they made a significant impact. But I ended up, I'm still reading Spear, but I'm finding that Spear is taking me a really long time to get through. And I was told that the before section is most people's least favorite. And I'm finding that it's just, it's long. Like, it's really, really long. And I know that everyone has warned me about this for when I read Malazan, that the chapters are ridiculously long. And I'm finding that I don't like that. So that might be a really significant problem for when I read Malazan. But either way, I decided this morning I was gonna try a book that's been on my list for a really long time because I've seen a couple of people that have read it recently and or in the process of reading it, specifically Kyle from Read by Kyle and Theo from Rekindled Reader, and I decided to start The Will of the Many by James Islington. I always thought it was Islington, but apparently that's wrong, at least according to the audiobook, and I'm liking it so much. So this is, I feel like, the type of book I needed to pull me out of my slump, because I wanted something that was good storytelling, had intrigue to the world, good magic system. There's clearly politicking going on here. I'm excited. I'm really amped for this book. So this, I feel, just based on the first like 8 chapters, has potential to be a 5-star read for me if it continues the way that it's going. So I really hope that it does, just because I feel like I need a win here with a new book. I just feel like I need a win. And that's not to say that I'm not enjoying Spirit Cuts Through Water, because I am. I think that Simon Jimenez, I also thought that that was Jimenez, but it seems like it's Jimenez, is an excellent author. His prose and style of writing is beautiful, but the method in which he is telling the story, the second person, I find to be very off-putting, even though I know it's part of the story and the mechanism in which he wants to convey that story. It's fine, but it's just not my favorite thing. So there's that. But right now, I have been told with that story not to really focus too much on what is happening, which is very difficult for someone like me because I'm over analytical and I'm a hyper analyzer, and I like to know, because for me it helps me settle into something so much more quickly, and I just prefer it that way. So of course, naturally, I've done that with Spirit Cuts Through Water, even though I was told not to. And I find that what I am understanding this to be is a little boy that is going in and out of the story that his grandmother is telling him. He might not be like that little. I'm thinking maybe a teenager. And maybe he like later will like go to sleep and like find himself transported into this world or something. I don't know. I'm curious to see if that's what it ends up being, but that's my theory right now. And that's not really a spoiler, because this is basically how the book starts. And again, I could be so far off because the book is very all over the place right now. But Will of the Many has really strong early Red Rising vibes, which I'm super digging, because as we know, I definitely prefer early Red Rising. I like the magic that is in this world, the concept of will being magic. All in all, I'm really digging it. So hopefully this continues. I'm not sure where I'm gonna end this vlog. Honestly, it just feels like it's been kind of all over the place. I really haven't had much time to just sit, focus, and be. Tomorrow I'm supposed to get my manuscript back from Sarah. I'm so excited to see what she's done with it. I'm finding that I'm very anxious in regards to writing lately. I have been writing. I have about 18,000 words done in my second book. But I'm just really eager to get back into my original manuscript and get back into this world of querying, even though it is mentally very exhausting and draining. I'm finding it's a lot of comparison games, it's a lot of dialing back your ego, it's a lot. So I'm finding that I'm having to do it in bouts, which is a good thing, but I'm eager to get that ball rolling. I'm really, really eager to get the ball rolling. So all in all, we've had some shit stuff come up. It's been not the best time overall, but things are hopefully going to be looking better. Hopefully this book continues to just give me the good feels, because I feel like I just need them right now.